It's time for the View in Your Mirror podcast. I'm Katie Harms, and along with Lisa Rubin, we help you check in and curate the best possible you and the best view in your mirror. We share tips, tricks, and strategies from our 35 plus years in our respective industries. We talk about your day from morning to night and everything in between. We share our uniqueness, relish in our shared experiences. Along the way, we share conversation with fabulous people who give us their own thought-provoking insights. So come along as we help you hone the best view in your mirror.
Lisa.
Good morning.
Exciting news. Wayzata is open and Washington Square is too. So Rustica Bakery, our presenting sponsor, has now got 4 locations where you can absolutely enjoy delectable goodies, the most amazing coffee and teas, and a great atmosphere. Minneapolis, B'dai-Makaska, Edina, Southdale Center, Washington Square at 100 Washington Avenue, and now Wayzata, 795 Lake Street. In Wayzata, Rustica Bakery, rusticabakery.com.
I need a matcha.
You need a matcha?
It's one of those days. I wish I had a matcha. I wish I had a Rustica matcha.
Oh, Katie, I'm sorry I didn't bring you one.
It's a Monday.
It is Monday.
Matcha Monday.
And it's cool here.
It is.
After we had summer in September.
So in my mind, I'm having a matcha and a scone from Rustica Bakery.
I love the scones. I had another one the other day.
Well, you kind of turned me on to the raspberry one, and that was delicious.
No, it's not raspberry. It's strawberry rhubarb.
Strawberry rhubarb. Okay. In my mind, I was thinking raspberry.
It wasn't the lavender one. It was the strawberry.
No, you can't do lavender.
Well, I can't eat lavender.
All right. I can't imagine the secrets you must keep.
I got a lot of them, Katie. I get exhausted from secrets.
Yeah?
Sometimes I forget the secrets, then I remember them. They'll come back to me.
Well, you get that intimate in the inner sanctum space with people.
I do. I always say once people take their clothes off, I'm all theirs. I mean, not so much. I'm not in dressing rooms with people really very much, right? But I'm in their houses virtually. And it's just this thing where you start talking about what they're going to put on their body and everything else comes with it. It's like a flood.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't even talk about clothes.
Well, just think of all the help you've given people beyond the wardrobe.
I hope so.
You know, that would be a good name of a podcast too, Beyond the Wardrobe.
Beyond the wardrobe. Well, actually, we kind of are going to sort of touch on that a little bit.
We are touching about that. Let's talk about Sweet Ivy has opened their new location. Beautiful.
It's great.
Gorgeous things. They've combined Littles by Sweet Ivy into Sweet Ivy, so that's great. And Beam Light Sauna, also going gangbusters. Their St. Louis Park location has become yours and my favorite stop.
Yes, it has.
I did a series of green light therapy. I think it really helped do some toning. And so, yeah, I'm really excited about Beam Light Therapy.
Yes, I've been doing my red light therapy.
And you've been doing red light therapy. So we want to thank them all as our sponsors. We are appreciative. Now, what I want to talk to you about before we bring on our guest, Kimberly Steward, she is a stylist and she is a makeup and hair specialist. She just came back from being on site on a movie, so we're going to learn about that. But before we get into all of that with Kimberly, I want to talk to you about some of your favorite things that go beyond the wardrobe.
Sure. I'm happy to talk about those things.
And you will consult your notes.
They're just in my brain, Katie, right?
Sure. Liar, pants on fire.
No, I mean...
yes, they are.
They absolutely are. I highly recommend to most people that maybe they didn't know about them and maybe they do know about them. But it's something... Most of the things I'm going to talk about today, I personally use.
Yes. And we're going to say that we do not, none of these are sponsors.
Nope.
If they would like to be, that certainly would be great.
None of these are sponsors. They're just Lisa's things.
Yes.
And some of them I have said over and over again on this podcast, so I apologize if you're bored with them. But there are always new people listening, and so I want to let them know the secrets, right? It's not really a secret. You can buy them and pay money to get them. But let's start with our undergarments, because that's what I do.
It's all about the bras, Lisa.
The bras, the underwear, and the undergarments.
All right.
Okay?
All right.
So let's talk about where you can get bras online that are fabulous. And there's 2 that I recommend. Obviously, Third Love, Honey Love. But Third Love makes a bra called the T-shirt bra. And if you are not large-breasted, the T-shirt bra is the perfect bra for everybody. But the one thing Third Love does is they do a half cup. Nobody else does a half cup. So if you're kind of in between sizes because you keep buying bras and they just don't fit right, this half cup is magical. I actually have half cups for myself. And when I found out about it personally, oh my God, I actually did like a little dance.
Dance.
When I got my box and I put it on, like, why hasn't anyone thought of this?
Well, it makes sense. Come on.
It makes total sense. And so you can go online, you can take their bra test, get the bras. There's other bras too, but that T-shirt bra is great. And Honey Love is a great resource for big busted women.
Okay.
They don't have half cups. Okay. Now, the other thing is underwear. Ungossamer is the line I highly recommend. And if you're into thong underwear or you think you might want to try a pair, the Hip G thong, nothing like it. I would recommend the all cotton one versus the mesh one. I think it's more comfortable. And then Spanx. So Spanx is still everyone's doing, let's call it Spanx. But the Spanx high-waisted shaping short, it's $72, not the one that's $78 or $64. It's $72. And it comes all the way up so it fits under your bra.
Okay.
And it's the thin one, not the thick one.
So it just gives you a little feel of support.
Well, it's not even that. It's that whenever you're wearing a dress, it smooths everything out. There's no place to have our fat go, right? It just kind of gives you a smooth look, number one. And number two, if it gets windy or you're sitting down, you don't have to worry about anyone seeing anything because if you get the nude color, it just looks like your skin.
Okay.
Okay. So that's about all of that. So let's continue on to cosmetics. I am not a makeup artist like we're going to have on today. But
award-winning, by the way, she is.
Award-winning, yes. So she might disagree, but for someone that's not really into makeup but needs to wear makeup or wants to have some makeup, I think Thrive Cosmetics online is awesome. They have tutorials on there, and their mascara, in my opinion, is the best mascara made. And I have tried literally 50 different mascaras of all different price points. But their mascara, the liquid lash extension and the volumizing mascara is awesome. It doesn't clump, it doesn't run, it doesn't do anything. They also do a fabulous eyeliner.
Oh, an eyeliner. I like their eye cream too.
Well, yeah, they have skincare, they have makeup. I'm just talking about makeup.
Well, the eye.
You mean the primer?
No, it makes it shimmery.
I have it on today, Katie.
Yeah.
It's their eye brightener pencils.
Yes, eye brightener pencil. That's it.
That's what I wear. Mm-hmm. It takes literally 1 minute to put my makeup on in the morning. And then I actually use their sticks. I don't know what they call them, but something stick. And I use it as my foundation or my concealer, whatever you want to say, over my moisturizer. And I just put it on, and it's fantastic. And then I use the colored one for my cheeks and my lips.
And then they have a highlighter,
Yes, they have a highlighter.
Yes. Yes,
See?
yes.
So you're using it too.
Yes. And the nice thing is easy to order.
So easy. And if you don't like it, you can return it.
Yeah.
And it's a great price point.
Exactly.
Okay. Now let's go to jeans. Because everybody either has 50 pairs or they hate all of their jeans or they don't know what to do. So I'm going to list a few names of jeans from different vendors, designers, that fit all different body styles. L'Agence, Mother, Veronica Beard, DL 1961, Rag and Bone, and Lysse.
Okay.
Now, Lysse is spelled Lysse, so I might not be pronouncing it correctly, but I call those the magic pants.
Okay.
They fit every body style. If you don't like the length of them, you just cut them off on the bottom. They're cropped, they're long. Sweet Ivy carries a lot of them, but you can also buy them online very easily. And those are the ones that I recommend.
Okay. Everything that you've recommended so far, you can let your fingers do the walking.
Yeah, yeah.
However, we always do like to throw in Sweet Ivy. I mean, if you're going to go for a pair of
If you live
pants,
in
you're going to find
Minnesota,
some other
yeah.
beautiful things. Yes.
Okay, let's move on to cashmere tops.
Oh.
So like, you either can wear a cashmere sweater to stay warm, turtleneck. You can wear it under jackets. You can wear them a million different ways. A lot of people think, oh, cashmere, it's too expensive. So the one place I think does the best job with doing a cashmere sweater in short sleeve, long sleeve, V-neck, crew neck, turtleneck in multiple colors is Bloomingdale's, and they're called C by Cashmere.
Okay.
They're a perfect feel. They don't wear out, and
What
they're
we
great
call that
part-
the hand.
The hand. You're right, the hand. Very good, Katie. I was just at Bloomingdale's doing my shopping for all my clients, and they really have a great selection this year. They have cardigans. I mean, they have multiple things in multiple colors. So there's something for everybody.
And shopping Bloomingdale's online is great.
Very easy.
Easy. Now, what do you think about Quince?
Okay, I was just going to talk about Quince. So
I like Quince.
I like Quince a lot, but from my experience for clients that have gotten Quince, the one problem is that for some reason their cashmere does tend to pill up. So if you have a pillar and you'd prefer to get it from Quince, go for it, but they don't have the color selection that Bloomingdale's has. So it's just, Quince is a good choice. Okay.
All right.
Now, let's go
Got time for one more thing.
I'm going to tell you one more thing,
Okay.
boss. We're going to talk about a travel bag.
Yes, because you got to have something to put all of these things in when you go on your
Because there's
fabulous
so many
trip.
people traveling. I think
Yes.
everyone's going to Japan the month of November,
Oh.
or at least all my clients are.
Okay.
I've probably had 10 people who I've helped take a trip to Japan for
Okay.
November. But the Low & Sons small Catalina Deluxe bag, in my opinion, is the best travel bag, hands down, anywhere. Everyone has their thing, but this bag has a place depending on your shoe size. Katie, you might only be able to put 2 pairs of shoes in, but I can put 3 because I have a smaller foot.
Yeah.
And you can put them on the bottom. So I tell people, your heavier shoes, put those on there and not in your suitcase, and then you have more room. And it has all these pockets. The canvas, I think, is better than the poly. I think it has more flexibility, and I absolutely love that bag.
Yeah. I think what I love about the bag, I also have that bag. I think what I love about the bag is it fits nicely over a roll-on too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that too.
It's beautiful that way. It's not my favorite bag to carry if I am not checking, or if I
You mean if you just have that?
just have that.
It is hard on the shoulder.
It's hard on the shoulders.
I agree, but I'm talking about for people
think
that
they'll
want
ever
to
make
take
it? Yes,
one
exactly.
carry-on
Exactly.
and one carry-on and
Yep.
go for 10 days.
It's perfect.
It's perfect.
It's perfect. You're set. All right. You all have assignments.
one
You have
more
works
thing
to
to
do.
say.
You do?
Yeah, I'm
Okay, I'll
sorry.
allow you to have one more thing.
I'm going to say one more thing. Maria Pinto does a great travel pant.
Ah.
Okay, for women and work pant. They're washable, and the 3 names of the pant that I'm going to tell people is the Zadie, the Penelope, and the Millicent. She makes those styles all the time in different colors and in basics, depending on what kind of pant you want to wear, and you cut the bottom off for length. So it doesn't matter if you're 5 feet tall or 6'2", you can buy that pant.
Fantastic.
So I had to give a shout out to that because I was just in Chicago and I had a woman going to Japan, but she bought 3 pairs of these pants and then we worked a whole wardrobe around it.
Oh, fantastic. I think that might be my next pant.
Yes, they would fit you very well.
All right. Okay. Well, now we're going to talk to Kimberly Steward. I'm super excited. I met Kimberly, then I introduced you to Kimberly. She just has such a great vibe, but she is an Emmy Award-winning creative director, wardrobe stylist, and hair and makeup artist known for transforming image into impact. With over 2 decades of experience shaping the visual identities of athletes, executives, and entertainers, she brings an editorial eye and cinematic precision to every project. From concept to camera, Kimberly directs every detail where vision becomes visual and style tells the story. I think you're going to have fun talking to Kimberly, and it's always fun to see how people doing the same thing that you're doing or similar things to what you're doing.
I do not do the hair and makeup.
Correct. You have
I have a
opinions on it.
suggestion and an opinion. I always have an opinion, but I don't actually.
Right.
I'm not professionally designed to help.
Correct. Well, let's bring Kimberly on, and I'm excited to have the conversation and see how we intersect. Kimberly Steward,
yes.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here with such powerful women.
Oh, we are so powerful.
Amen.
I think Lisa probably could take me in a arm wrestling. I don't know.
I don't think so, Katie.
You don't? Well, I'm trying to think of when I first met you was at the event at Southdale.
It was, yeah.
And you just had this, it was like super attractor.
Oh, that's so sweet.
You had this bright glow about you. And I thought, I got to meet that woman. And so then we started chatting and I found out you and Lisa worked in the same realm. And so then I was so excited to get you two together at Southdale.
Absolutely.
So Southdale's pulling a good place in all of this.
Absolutely.
And you do similar things, but different clienteles, maybe some interaction, maybe some overlap. But I always love talking about how you got to where you are.
Yeah, I'm so excited to have a moment with Lisa now that my schedule is like dying down. I'm super excited. She doesn't know. I'm going to be bugging her.
You can bug me. You can bug me. I always like talking to people that are on the same level as me.
Yeah.
And have been doing it almost as long as I have.
Yeah.
Because we can learn from each other.
Absolutely. And there's so many things, So the origin story, right?
Yeah, the origin story.
I didn't have a mentor. So I always am a little open to other women, especially in the industry. Lisa, you probably know there's a lot of times where we get pitted up against men who supposedly do the same thing we do. And it's just like, it's impossible. We may work in the same industry, but we're not the same. Yeah. And that's not to knock any male stylists or anything. We're just not the same. And so some of them are amazing at what they do. We don't, men are, what is that book? Men are from Venus and women are from Mars.
I think the opposite, but that's
like
okay.
That. Yeah.
Either way, it feels like that.
Exactly. So my origin story is I have a very stylish mother. So stylish that her brothers and sisters and family members call her the lady because she's such a lady, and I've never seen my mother go out of the house not done. Like even the other day, we were just, she's 84, she has stage 4 cancer, and she's like vibrant as I don't know what. And she comes out, and we're just going to brunch, and she's got on this matching, I've never even seen my mom in a sweatsuit, right? But it's like this matching print sweatsuit. I'm like, Mom, where'd you get that? And these like really cute sneakers. I've never seen her in sneakers. So I'm like, oh my gosh, Mom, you're so cute. I can't even take it. It's just like, when I was with my sister in Memphis, I got it. I'm like, I dream to be her when I grow up. So, but you know, she said that she noticed when I was as young as 6 months old, when I was able to lock on to people with my gaze, I would look at them from their shoes up. And if I, in my baby mind, did not like their shoes, I didn't pretty much like them. And she said, you know, I was pretty spot on. Like if somebody had on like some shoes that didn't match their outfit, or their shoes were kind of busted up in not a cool way, like I just wasn't having it. And if they had on great shoes, like especially a pair of heels or like a pair of Edelmans or, you know, something like that, I was like all out trying to go to them, you know, chibber jabber with them and all the stuff. So that's where it started. Then she thought I was cute. She put me on the runway when I think I was 5 for an international runway show. I'll never forget it. Had on a pink dress with these pink light up sneakers.
And you have memories of this.
Oh yeah.
That's
oh yeah.
awesome.
Oh, I remember they taught me how to pivot and turn, and I was just like, oh, this is the life. And so I modeled. Both my parents were photographers. My mother is a journalistic photographer. She used to develop film in a dark room in our house. And she had a very proprietary way of developing film. And she would, by the time I could remember, she would do these pictures of the parades in Frogtown with the Vietnamese and Korean and Hmong immigrants that were here, and they had come, you know, as refugees at the time. And so I didn't know she was covering that. I just thought she was taking pretty pictures, you know? And so she would develop it where the greens and the blues, they were like these neon pastels. I can't even describe it in any other way. And the metals would pop out in a certain way. It was very artful. Very artful. And I say artful, I know it's not really a word, but...
I think it is.
Oh, is it? Okay, good.
Well, I think it sounds perfectly.
Called Artful.
Artful. Okay, great.
Yeah.
So I am not disappointing my English teachers
No.
here. Okay. So...
or you're creating something new and
You know,
fabulous, so...
That's what I felt like when I would look at her pictures, right? And then my father was a capturer of history, I would just say. He wasn't a super professional photographer, but he knew enough to capture moments. And I would remember, you know, there's albums upon albums. Like we could fill this room with the photo albums from my dad, just taking photos of moments. And so when I decided to model, my dad had to be my photographer. He was not playing around. So there's pictures of me and photo shoots of me, and he was not a fashion photographer by any means, but he always did part of my portfolio. And then I realized after I passed puberty, I wasn't photogenic. And I was like, you know, this is hard. Like, and I really don't love it. And I want to do what they're doing on the other side of the camera. So I start paying attention. I have 2 sisters who are celebrity stylists. They both do hair. My oldest sister did makeup, and she did Mary Kay. And I was enthralled with the pink briefcase. Okay. That thing was heaven every time it opened, and I was like, oh my goodness. So she taught me a little bit about makeup, and one day I think I was maybe 13 or 14, she gave me the pink briefcase. No, I had to be like 15. She gave me this pink briefcase with all these samples, and my life changed. Oh my goodness. I was already doing hair. I would do extensions like braids and weaves and things like that out of my home. All the girlfriends from school, I would braid their hair during Spirit Week. So then this makeup case, I started doing makeup, homecoming, proms, whatever, girls' night out, let's do it.
And you were sought after, I bet.
Oh, man. I don't know about sought after because I made some faux pas.
Well, let me ask you a
oops.
question. Very, very real. I'm thinking back to Mary Kay, and I'm thinking back, to high school times. You are a black woman.
Yeah.
You are a gorgeous, stunning and happened to be a black woman.
Yeah.
Did you have the colors in your case to be able to
Oh, yeah.
properly?
Mary Kay was one of the first all-inclusive beauty lines. Mary Kay herself did amazing things in the world of beauty. I read her book because I had to know, like, she has some of the best lipsticks for women of color to this day.
Okay.
To this day. And let me tell you, I'm rooting for everybody black. So it's, for me to say this means I really mean it. Cause I'll, talk about a Fenty, a Lip Esteem, and a, Danessa Myricks and Pat McGrath first and always. But Mary Kay holds a special place in my heart. She was discriminated against in the way of being a woman. Mm-hmm. And so she was a saleswoman. And she ended up training her bosses. And she was the highest selling saleswoman, whether it be vacuums or whatever, And she just did not see the world in the way that other people did. And so when she started her company and started selling this Mary Kay thing, she went to black women, white women, Latino, like she just, whoever was accessible to her. Now, I don't know Mary Kay or her family. For all I know, she could have been, some kind of workup. I don't know. But what I do know is that she gave great opportunity to women of color from the very beginning of her business. And so my sister's troupe was a troupe full of women of color who were making 6 and some 7 figures with their pink Cadillacs. And, when I started doing makeup professionally, my first kit was a Mary Kay kit. I would sell directly out of that kit. It helped me feed my children, and so what do you say? But
So she was almost, you chose her to be your first mentor in a way.
I can't say that. It was really my sister. But when I got older and I realized what her company really was, because for a long time I didn't, I came back to Mary Kay after I had been doing makeup. I had already done People magazine. I had, done some big things, Bloomingdale's, runway shows, all kinds of stuff. And I came back to Mary Kay and I said, I'm going to be a rep. And that's when I read her book. Because people always wanted to buy things out of my kit. And I was like, I'm not making any money selling them Maybelline and, Tarte and whatever else I had in my kit, Smashbox. And so I said, let me go back to Mary Kay. And not only let me go back to Mary Kay, I can't find the colors in these other brands. I need a deep bronze ebony 55 or whatever the numbers were at the time. 4, 3, and and I needed to be able to match the girl that had the Sudanese undertone and the very fair model who you could see her veins through her skin. And I couldn't get that in Maybelline and CoverGirl and even MAC at the time. MAC was very subjective to undertones that they worked with, and so even though the colors may have been dark, the undertones were off.
The absolute attention to detail that's needed to do what you've done and where you've taken it.
Yeah.
So somewhere from makeup and truly finding yourself on big stages, you then got into hair.
Yeah, I was doing hair first, actually.
Oh, hair first, then makeup, and then the full wardrobing.
Yeah, so I was doing hair out of my home as a means to an end, and a way to make money in high school and then after I had my children. And I was doing makeup. But the real is I wanted to be baby Pat McGrath. I thought I was going to be, Pat McGrath is the most famous makeup artist in the world. She happens to be a black woman from Europe. And she's known for some of the biggest faces and biggest names you can imagine. And so I wanted to be her. I was like, I'm going to be that. And so I got in the industry, started doing makeup, and I started to build my book. And I was here in Minneapolis. And even though I had traveled and still was traveling for basketball and modeling, I said, I need a hairstylist, who could really do what I had envisioned. And I wasn't big enough for my sisters. So I was trying to work with other hairstylists because I had done braids and weaves, so I didn't really know editorial styling, so I thought. And I was getting with these hairstylists and wardrobe stylists that were, quite frankly, poo-pooing on my photo shoots. I had these big editorial dreams, and they were doing JCPenney's and glamour shots. And I was like, what is going on? Like, why does she have a bouffant? And I asked for a chignon. Like, I asked for a bun. Like, what is this? Bump hump. And everything either looked super basic or it looked like Dallas 1972. And I was just like, oh, what's happening? And so I started doing hair because I was like, okay, I'm just going to do beauty shots because I figured the wardrobe thing, that was a loss. And I said, so I'm just going to do beauty shots. Well, then my career started going and I wanted to do magazines. I wanted to, so I had to show that I could do that work, And I tried the wardrobe stylist again, and no poo-poo to JCPenney's, because let me tell you, I've styled some great things from JCPenney's, okay? I styled myself in JCPenney's, but they were not styling what I wanted from JCPenney's, and I'm trying to do Gucci and Dolce & Gabbana, and they're like, no. And so I started styling wardrobe out of necessity from my own book and started collecting. And so when my book would go out, people would say, who did the hair? Who did the wardrobe? And at that time, you couldn't be a double or a triple. They told you to focus. And if they thought you were trying to be conniving or scheming if you did more than one thing. And I was a model. Most of the industry knew me as a model. So it was very hard to maneuver, And I'd be like, oh, I did it. And so then it was a thing where sometimes I wouldn't say that I did it because they were going to choose whether they were going to hire me for hair, makeup, or wardrobe, And I wanted to do the makeup. And so finally, after years of doing that and trying to figure that out, I just started saying it was me. Well, who casted this model? I did. Who art directed this? I didn't even know what an art director was. So I was like, I don't know, but I put it together, Art direction, what that mean? And so I had a client that I worked with from the time I was 19. Her name is Sharon Smith Akinsanya. She's an amazing woman here, entrepreneur, CEO. And she's the one who told me, I was 25 years old. She said, you know why these companies hire you and pay you the amount of money that they pay you? Because I was being paid way more than any other stylist. She said, it's because you're an art director and a creative director. I said, what is that? And she said, well, they get paid about $75,000 to $150,000 a year. This is years ago. And I said, wait, what? Hold on.
I'll call myself that, but you were actually that.
I was actually
you
doing
were
it.
doing what that title.
Oh, yeah. Art direction and creative direction. I was putting together layouts. I was directing the graphic designers. I was telling them how to put the whole campaign. Let me tell you, Lisa, as a wardrobe stylist, now you work with CEOs, but in the beginning of your career, when did they bring you into a board meeting or a marketing meeting to style wardrobe?
Well, they did when I was very young because I worked at Dayton's.
Oh, there you go. You worked in corporate.
I worked, and so at that time,
yeah,
the buyers their offices were located in the downtown store.
Oh, that's so awesome.
And I chose at a very young age to help businesswomen. That's what I wanted. I didn't want to do, I can always do it, but the trendy, all of that, It was business. I stayed very focused on that. And so in those days, there were a couple buyers, I don't want to mention their names on the podcast right now, but that started to watch what I was doing. And so they brought me into their buys.
Oh, that is so amazing.
And I got to design the double-breasted coat dress that was very popular in the 80s. Mm-hmm. And I would sit with these buyers who were at the time quite famous because Dayton's was,
everything.
They came to them. Mm-hmm. They didn't have to go to New York.
Right.
And I go, no, don't do that. do this, this, and this. This is what the women want. Put a button here so when they sit down at it, and I would just start throwing out this stuff. And a couple of the buyers who everyone was afraid of would go, can you sell these? And I'd go, yeah.
Absolutely.
Here's the sizes I need. Here's the colors you should do. And they won't even get on the floor.
Oh, wow.
So I guess that was kind of a long answer.
No, thank you for that answer. That's
that
awesome.
was kind of, and my mentor was Jacqueline Murray, who started FYI for Your Image at Dayton's. And she never did that, but I just had this in me, and this is what I wanted.
That's so amazing.
From the time I was very young. So when you were telling the story about how you'd look at someone from the feet up.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't judge them, but I would have a lot of opinions in my head.
Well, my baby mind judged
When you're
them.
when you're that age, though, if you think about it, I don't know that you can call it I guess it would be a judgment, but not in a negative way.
No,
you just had
It was just what
you had a
happened.
reaction to it.
Oh, but
you literally had a physical reaction to what you're seeing, and if you're very, I mean, I'm a verbal processor. You're both verbal processors. I can tell just in, obviously I've known you long enough, but in that conversation it's the verb, I'm sorry, not verbal,
Visceral?
when you see it, visual,
Yeah.
thank
Visual,
you.
visual.
I also lose words
Okay,
sometimes.
V,
But
it starts with a
yes,
V.
you're a visual processor.
Yes.
I am also a verbal processor, but as you're talking through it,
You can see it.
you can see it.
Yes.
Or you see it and then you
Yeah.
talk through it. So that's always been your guiding principle.
Yeah.
Which is the same with you too, which is
I am very
so
visual.
fun.
I am
Yeah.
very visual. And I don't know about you, but like when I'm doing the clothing thing for my clients, and it's more for me about a wardrobe
Yeah.
and how they should show up, I visually in my head have created what I think it should be, and then I do my work.
Absolutely.
Right? And I start in their closet because they've already purchased clothes, right? But yeah, I mean, you and I think very much the same. I don't do hair, and I don't do makeup. I mean, I recommend,
Absolutely.
I mean, there's some people that won't wear makeup, and
Absolutely.
I try to explain to them that they have to do a little something,
Yeah.
especially if they're showing up here, here, and here. But yeah, it's the same. It's the same.
I guess for me, being asked into a corporate board meeting that had nothing to do with the shoot or the campaign that I'm being hired for was such not the norm. I would talk to other makeup artists, other stylists, other hairstylists, other wardrobe stylists, and none of them were in these meetings that I was in. Not one.
Was the sense that you were offering something?
Oh, I was the art director. That was the thing.
There you go.
They were using me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I didn't know it.
Oh.
Okay.
Because I wasn't in corporate. I was a contractor.
That's- yeah.
I'm a stylist. In my mind, I'm just a stylist.
So you had to learn to think bigger.
Oh yeah, and thankful to Sharon, she told me to think bigger. She said, "Hey, they're paying you this because then they don't have to pay somebody's salary." Mm-hmm. And I'm going, oh my goodness, today, And then I would get on set, and still to this day, I get on set, and there will be the graphics art director or even some photographers. They don't know how to process a creative director. And so their egos flare. I was just on a photo shoot. It was very, very bad. The photographer was very defensive having me on set. And my client, and this happens a lot. This has actually happened probably 6 times in the last 3 months. The client says, "Oh, I'll shoot with you, but I will not shoot with you unless my creative director or my stylist is there." And that person happens to be me. I'm already tall. I'm black. I'm a woman. And I walk in and they're going, "What are you about to tell me?"
Them. Yeah.
And I'm like, "Hey, I'm not the photographer, nor am I trying to be. But, as you say, you look at the whole wardrobe. I look at the whole brand and the person, right? You're looking at their brand, Lisa, to see what it is that they're trying to get across when people see them, right? And that's what you style. And so for me, I'm at the photo shoot and I'm going, okay, this is how we do this and make sure that, they get photos that they can use as well as what you can use. But, in the movie world, they don't care. But in the photography and editorial fashion world, they're kind of,
Well, wait, I have a question about the movie world. So when you're on set for a movie, do you have, who directs you as to like the scenes, right? Like, do you have to read the whole script to come up with your own idea of what it should be? Or is there somebody saying, this lighting, this outfit, or are you helping with the outfit, or is there always a stylist on when you're doing a movie?
Yeah, so I have been hired for different roles in movies, not wardrobe yet. I'm hoping to do wardrobe for a movie. I would love it. But I'm always working closely with the wardrobe department as we are designing the looks for the characters. And because I'm a wardrobe stylist, a lot of them feel a little bit more at ease because they know I understand the process. And then I can kind of do for them what they want, even if it's a scarf and they're seeing the hair like flowy, But the direction comes from the top, which is the director of the movie. He wants or she wants the movie to look and feel the way that they've envisioned it in their mind. So I do have to read the entire script. And sometimes the director will have notes for me. I usually have a meeting with the director, and then we talk about, especially the main characters. What are you thinking? What does this person feel like? And then I design the looks from there. There are times where we don't agree, but I have to do my best to make sure that I'm meeting what the director wants. There are just times, especially when you're dealing with directors who are writing something that is outside of their lived experience, So this last film is a Black woman. She was married and she wanted to become a mother. Well, I'm a Black woman. I've not been married, but I'm a mother. And this film was very revolutionary, and I'm very revolutionary. And so to tell a Black woman what a revolutionary Black woman looks like, and it doesn't match up, I had to really kind of woosah and sit back and go, okay, now let me figure out his thought process of this and marry the two things together and come up with what can work. And so, we all have our opinions, right? But I always say like this, and this is a note to other stylists or people that are wanting to be in this business. When you're in somebody else's house, you abide by their rules. When you're in your own house, you abide by your rules. And so, as much as you can take those rules and still stand on your own too and be the creative genius that you are, that's what you do. And you don't, go in somebody's house and use up all their tissue and don't tell them there ain't none left.
I love that. Well, and you said, I asked you, what do you want to get across in your mission? This is really almost your mission statement. And you said,
imaging that creates impact. Yeah.
Creating imaging that creates impact.
Yeah.
That leads to impact.
Yeah.
Which is so incredible. And what you're talking about is you're not ego driven.
No.
You're creatively driven. You're outcome driven.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You want the best for your clients.
Absolutely.
Or if you're hired from the director, you want the best thing. I mean, first of all, the actor or the actress, even though they're getting in character, right? You're helping with that. The stylist is helping with that. But if they don't feel like they're part of that character,
ding, ding,
they are not going to do their best performance. It's exactly the same as when I help a client who is running a company or going to sit in the boardroom or doing a presentation. If they don't feel their best self, they're not going to perform their
Absolutely.
best self. So it all kind of works hand in hand.
Absolutely. You hit it on the head. Like, and this was huge, when I did Dear White People, Tessa Thompson was very specific about her hair. And she is a sweetheart, you guys. Let me tell you, that woman, I hope I can reach her again someday, because she taught me valuable lessons. Lessons that I didn't even know I needed, I was open to receiving them, though. And, hair for her is very specific because of her brand and her identity. And so Teyana Paris, same thing. She played Coco in the movie, and you may know her from The Marvels. She is the Black woman in The Marvels, the Black superhero in The Marvels. And, hair is so sacred. Especially when you have hair that it can be abused in the hands of the wrong people. And when I tell you, I've been on movie sets and just, photo shoots, and the models or the actors or, the CEOs or whoever I'm working with will tell me, "Thank you so much for telling me how to get the hairspray out of my hair." And I'm going, wait, you're working with hairstylists that won't tell you how to get the product that they just shellacked in your hair out? What do you mean? Well, that's why everybody has such a hard time sitting in the hair and makeup chair. They're scared to death because they had some bad experience, or they've heard about some horrible experience, right? And they go home and they just jump in the shower, and then their hair's in knots.
Just a little side note about hair. Are you noticing that more people are wearing wigs? Or you can style the wigs, but that helps with doing scenes quickly?
Not in my industry. Wigs have been a huge thing since the 70s. I mean, in the movie industry, wigs have been the norm for so long, and in the fashion industry. I think that if you are in a certain part of the industry, you don't think that they are. But once you kind of cross over into these celebrities that show up in a bob one day and, a long ponytail the next day, and it's not their hair. Come on, you know? So it's just one of those things.
I think they're becoming a little more mainstream.
Oh, yeah. Crossover completely into the regular public. I would say using wigs on regular clientele or extensions on regular clientele has been way bigger than ever.
What are you seeing with now? You have got quite a athlete driven, a lot of people, right? You're working with athletes, and women now. What I love about, especially women's basketball, exploding.
Yeah,
it's about damn time.
Yeah,
right. But you've got some definite clientele in that realm.
So I worked with one big athlete star, and I work with her ongoing for special events now, and that's Nafisa Collier of the Minnesota Lynx. And if you are following WNBA, she has just kind of blew up the whole WNBA.
She has.
That girl.
Yeah, girl.
I had to send her a text and I said, "You are that girl, and never forget it." Yeah. But I've also worked with a couple of others in the W, but not on an ongoing basis. But my ongoing is team owners. I'm now working with owners of basketball and soccer teams. And I hope to be working with another owner coming up soon. And so, I'm open to it all. I would love to style more women in the W, but I think I'm a hard pill to swallow because I'm very fashion forward and I'm not the norm. And some of these girls are just now finding their own personal style. Mm-hmm. And so for me, the tunnel has such potential. And there's only a few girls in the WNBA, I probably could count them on one hand, maybe 3, that are actually using that tunnel to really jumpstart their brand and their brand ROI. They don't get it. And it's hard for me because my superpower is how do you make money from your image? Mm-hmm. So You know,
I've been working on that for 40 years.
You know, I'm a stylist.
Yeah.
But the clients that have me on retainer, I work on their brands. I work on brand strategy. I work on image strategy, social strategy, right? And so some people who encounter me as just a stylist, that's all they can see. They can't see past it. I don't make them. Because if you can't see it, even in just some of the things that I say and do, and I've never really been one to pitch. So all of the work that I do is by referral. And so
that's you two share that in common. You two share that in
we're,
common.
We're so
And
similar.
I don't like to talk about myself or what I've done or I just
you'll find it. Google me.
You know, you do. That's interesting. Both of you do like to talk about what you do. I disagree with you on that.
No. I
Talk
mean,
about
that I
ourselves.
don't talk about who we've helped.
Correct.
Like,
Correct.
I don't.
Absolutely. But
I don't say any of that.
But I think the best part of both of you is to be able to proudly talk about the fact that this is truly important. And branding is so important. We've talked about that continually, and we see that with all of our clients, how branding makes such a difference, and how you put together what you put forward. You want to feel on the inside.
Yeah,
Yes.
and this is new for me. Doing a podcast 5 years ago, I would never.
Oh,
I would never.
Oh, neither would I. Trust me.
Oh yeah.
that was about the time 5 years ago.
Yeah. Oh, that's another whole story.
Hold that thought for a second. We're in uncharted territory. We had to say goodbye to Lisa because she is under a time crunch today. Yes. And so I don't know that I've ever done the podcast, just me talking to somebody. So, I'm good at talking. It should be okay.
Let me
we'll
just
miss
say,
Lisa.
Lisa, I so look forward to chatting with her and learning from her. She's a powerhouse.
She absolutely is. And she's that quiet stealth.
Yeah, quiet
She's
storm.
like a stealth. Yes, for sure. Well, and I love connections, and so that was my favorite. And
Absolutely.
I think probably you share that as well, because that's what I felt with you. We talked about that when we were at the event.
Yeah,
and you
Leah.
introduced me to some other people, and
us.
Leah, our girl, Leah B.
Let me tell you, kind of what Lisa was talking about. We said 5 years ago we would never be doing this. So in the days of Periscope, I don't know if you remember Periscope. It was a live streaming platform, and I've been a live streamer for years. And I was on that platform, and I would do things like I would kind of take people behind the scenes a little bit. I had a studio at the time, and I would be coloring wigs and doing makeup or cleaning out my kid or whatever. And I didn't really talk about what I did at all. I just kind of said, hey, this, that. And there was this woman. She is absolutely fantabulous. She is a millionaire who makes millionaires. Her name is King Ashley Ann on social media. And I met her at the Periscope conference. And she said, sis, I Googled you. And now, let me tell you, back then, if somebody could Google you, that was a thing. I didn't even know I was Googleable. I had no clue. I was like, you did what? She was like, I Googled you. And she said, I don't ever want you to say your name without saying award-winning first. And I said, wait, what? I'm not going to do that. Why would I do that? That's idiotic. I'm not going to toot my horn like that. Like, why would I do that? And she said, sis, they're never going to take you serious or continue to write you the checks that you've been getting if you don't. So think on it. But I Googled you, and I know it to be true. And I said, okay. And I didn't do it at first. And, I don't know, some time went by, and, we talked about when I first got in, it wasn't on tape, but me being the beard for somebody who couldn't really do the job, but they hire me as an assistant or as a hairstylist, and then they want me to be the beard for the makeup artist, meaning they actually want me to do the work, but not have the title,
Right. Or get the pay.
Right, or get the pay. And that was happening a few times. And I said, you know what? I'm going to listen to King Ashley. Mm-hmm. And I started putting award-winning in front of everything. And that's a thing, you know, with the race thing. You know, it's one of those things where I don't think that I would have if I wasn't who I am. Like, but as soon as they were finding out more and more. Like before I was Googleable, they thought I was a short, white, blonde woman, you know. People would be shocked when I walked in the room, literally. And they would say it without saying it. Like, oh, I thought you were, oh my God, I didn't know you were, you know, it would be those.
Yeah.
And so when I start doing that, it kind of took color out of it a little bit. And so I thank her for that to this day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, it's so true. And I believe you would tell any of your clients the same thing.
I would. And
but what is it about us that we can't take that advice ourselves?
You know,
you got to come to it because you've come to it.
Well, I'm going to say a couple of reasons why. One, society has told women that, you know, we need to be quiet and we shouldn't be boastful. We should be gracious and feminine and dainty and all the things, right? And I was raised as a society girl, you know. I went to charm school. I know how to cook monkey bread and, you know. Those things, right?
I love monkey bread, but I couldn't tell you how to cook it.
Well, I don't know if I remember, but they sure taught us.
Yeah.
And, you know, so we were told not to brag. Bragging is boastful.
Yes.
And so that's first. Then my mother is from Minnesota. I'm from Mississippi.
Oh.
And so, but my mother's born and raised here. And so my father is from Mississippi, and I was raised around family that was from all over the place. And, with my travels, I never felt like Minnesota was home, even though I've been here for forever. Don't really feel like Mississippi is home, even though I go back and I'm like, oh, I'm home, you know.
Have you found what feels most like home?
Not really, not yet.
Interesting.
I feel like I am a citizen of the world. I'm taking that phrase from a client of mine. Shout out to Anne.
That's beautiful.
But
we need that more now than ever.
Yeah, because I'm going to tell you. So I thought I would find New York home because every time I would go places, everybody's like, "Where are you from, New York?" You know, just by the way I dressed and kind of my eclectic nature and all these things. And so when I got to New York, I was 19 years old. I couldn't wait. And I was like, I'm going to New York. I'm going to find my tribe. It's going to be there. And I got there and people were like, where are you from? And I was like, no, say it ain't so.
Well,
you know, they were asking me, was I from London? Or, you know, was I,
see that.
You know, from all over these other places, other countries.
Yeah.
They could not even believe that I was from the United States.
But it's so natural for people to want to put you into a box.
Absolutely.
It's easier. It's the more challenging path to not be put into that box.
Absolutely.
Makes you more interesting.
Well, I think so.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, so my mother being from here, she was also taught the Minnesota way. You know, she was born in Anoka, raised pretty much in Anoka, and then came to St. Paul in high school. And the Minnesota way says not to talk
Passive
about yourself.
Aggressive?
Very, oh my. You said a mouthful. But yeah, it just tells you, you know, you don't talk all that talk, you know. And also, regular people in Minnesota think they're celebrities. So celebrities aren't that big, you know. You got two very distinct worlds in Minnesota. You're either a groupie or you think you're a celebrity. So those celebrities ain't that big. It ain't that, you know. And I get it because we're like the land of money. We have 19 Fortune 500 companies.
Yeah.
The average, salary here in certain places is more than some little cities.
Right.
you know?
And really, unless you become a citizen of the world and do the traveling, and do you really realize that about Minnesota?
No, because people here, they act in a way that is very indicative to Minnesota, and Minnesota only. And I have to readjust every time I come back.
Every time you come back. Yeah. So what's next for you? What do you see yourself doing in 5 years? 5 years ago, you couldn't see yourself doing a podcast.
Oh, yeah.
What do you see yourself doing 5 years from now?
Oh, first thing is legacy. I got into this industry as deep as I did because I wanted my daughters to be able to see themselves,
Yeah.
So a big mission.
They're what, about 20?
Oh, no, they're grown women, 26 and 28.
And 28.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Most people, and it's crazy because most people are like, what?
I'm looking at you going, I don't know how that can be, but I mean,
yeah.
To one of the phrases, truly black don't crack. I mean,
Listen.
You are unbelievable to have children that age. I would have not put you much out of anywhere near mid-30s.
Yeah, I get it from my mother. I show people pictures of her, and I say, "Listen,
yeah,
this is my legacy." But I really was really hell-bent on making sure that my daughters got to see not just Black women, but just the globe in the work that I did. So I was chastised for probably the first 15 years of my career about the amount of other type of representation that I had in my book. I had very few all-American blonde, blue-eyed, very few. Because I just figured if I had one, it was enough. Because if they have one Black girl on the show, they figured it was enough. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So why couldn't my book be the same way?
Interesting that people felt comfortable chastising you.
Oh, extremely comfortable.
Yeah.
Men, women, old, young, no matter what part of the industry. You have so many women of color in your book. And they would say it to put me down.
To you, a woman of color.
Yeah. You have so many, Black men or Asian men in your book. Or why do all your models, and it was literally 3 models in my book had a gap. Why do all your models have a gap? And these weren't Black models. The models in my book that had a gap, they were all white. Yeah. But any type of diversity was a thing, I remember I worked with a magazine here with my sister. She's, like I said, a celebrity stylist as well. And I was doing the casting. She asked me to cast. And I found this beautiful model. She was on America's Next Top Model. She's from here. Beautiful. She has a beautiful gap, really big lips.
We're talking about a teeth gap.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very structured face. Honestly, she looks like what I would imagine the first Europeans who were mixed with the Africans that colonized them and settled them to look like.
Okay.
She was very strong featured, very white, very blonde, very blue-eyed, but not the dainty features that they were used to. And they were like, what is she, Hungarian? That was the first time I had heard anybody say Hungarian with such disdain. I was like, what's wrong with Hungarians? What happened here? Where are we? Aren't we in Minnesota, the land of the Swedish, German, something?
Yeah.
I was just flabbergasted. And I was like, okay, is that bad? And they were like, her features are just too much. And I was like, oh, okay. And so we found another model here who also has a gap, not as big. Her lips aren't as big. Her eyes aren't as big. Her jawline's a little bit narrow. And I had to compromise because they weren't ready for that editorial judgment in my casting to say, this woman too is beautiful.
And isn't that it? And so you've constantly been pushing the envelope a little bit too.
Oh, always.
Which
always.
is part of your path, part of your legacy.
Absolutely. And that's the legacy that I wish to continue in 5 years.
Yeah.
I wish to, another person that I looked up to, I look up to currently and have always looked up to her. And I got to work with her once. It was a dream come true. Her name is Beth Ann Hardison. She has a documentary on Netflix. Go and watch it. She is the mother of Kadeem Hardison, who played Dwayne Wayne in A Different World.
Sure.
And she is the mother agency of most, she was the mother agent of most of the Black and Asian and I call them off-white supermodels because they were not accepted by the other agencies as the typical white models. So everyone from Tyra Banks to Beverly Crawford, I mean, she was their kind of mama, Naomi Campbell calls her mother, and she was a supermodel herself, very dark-skinned Black woman. And the thing with her was that she pushed the envelope. She's the reason why Tyson Beckford is a supermodel. She's the reason why we saw him all over Polo. Because she dared to send him as an option. No one else did that. They sent the strong-jawed, all-American, blue-eyed white man. She said, look at this one. This one will change your life.
And in every industry, you would hope there would be someone like that pushing.
You hope.
Right? That's really what you want. When you're a creative, that's what you want. That's what drives you and fuels you.
Absolutely.
Is how to push for those changes, push for people to look at things differently.
Yeah. I'm just following the legacy that other Black women set before me. And just Black people in general, even when it comes to this country, had it not been for the civil rights movement in the 1960s, Asian people would not be able to come here as refugees and be treated the way they've been treated in the ways of getting help. Some of the treatment hasn't been the greatest of all races that are,
right,
not the norm.
Marginalized.
Right.
Yes.
But for them to be able to come here as refugees and get health care and all of that was pushed through the civil rights movement. A lot of people don't know their history, so they don't know.
Right.
And
that is the saddest. That is the saddest, is when you don't know, right?
Yeah.
And we have so many ways that you can educate yourself to be better and understand more.
Absolutely. Thankfully I had two parents who were, part of, my father really was part of the movement. My mother documented it. My father marched with Dr. King and protected him. And then he also, was in other parts of the civil rights movement. And so I learned things that through him and through research of my own that a lot of people just don't know, right? But it was in me. It's in my DNA. So even the white people who were marginalized in this industry, right? For their looks that weren't the norm. I was pushing for them too, because not just because they were white and they had a gap or whatever. It's because my mind, my gift is God-given. I wake up, I dream about it.
Yes.
It's embedded, it gets downloaded, it's all the things, right? And so I see what I see and I want what I want. And if that is a blonde girl with a gap and big lips, and so be it.
And you're going to find a way to get that used.
Yeah.
That's the key. That's really your superpower, is to keep showing up, to keep pushing that, to keep creating imaging that leads to impact.
Absolutely.
That is your gift.
Absolutely.
It's an incredible gift.
Thank you.
I feel honored that we got a chance to share it. And I'm
Oh.
like, I can't believe our time is running out. We want to talk about your nonprofit.
Yeah.
And we want to talk about how people get a hold of you. But let's talk about your nonprofit first.
Yeah.
And you picked Covenant of Love, CMI.org. Talk about that.
Yeah.
What a beautiful organization that I've just learned a little bit about.
Yeah, so Covenant of Love is a legacy organization. I use that word a lot.
It's a good word.
It's a big thing for me. So my grandfather was a missionary, and years ago, I don't know the exact year, he found a place on the map, and it was called Honduras. And he said, God told me to go there and to not only witness, but to help the plight of the people there that inhabit that land and are being pushed out and, being marginalized, and it's their land, And so he went there and he, of course, witnessed the gospel, but also helped them build and, became a part of the community in a way that he still remembered. My grandfather passed away when I was about 12 years old. Not 12. So far past 12. And there are still people that are in the village and in the city that remember him and his impact. And so my aunt, my mother's sister, his daughter, and her husband, they have continued the mission. They continue to add to his legacy and also help the people in that part of the world make impact. So they teach the women how to sew, how to become entrepreneurs, how to make money, how to get skills where they can work and make money and help provide for their family. They've built churches. They have done fundraising for the cities and for the people there. And so they have just continued the story and the love of that region of the world that my grandfather had, the thing that God told him to do. And
that's a beautiful legacy. Well, if people want more information, Covenant of Love, CMI.org. Thank you. How do people get a hold of you?
Probably spend most of my time on Instagram.
Okay, at Kimberly Steward,
Yeah.
Steward.
Yes, spell my name right.
Yes.
I'm not Rod Stewart's daughter. Okay, so I'm not blonde. Well, I'm kind of blonde, but I'm not, not Rod Stewart's daughter. And, I do spend a lot of time responding on Instagram. And other than that, I work by referral, so it's best to get in touch with me on social. I love networking through social media and finding people. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook, I don't use X that much, but I'm there. I don't use TikTok that much, but I'm there. I look at the messages, and YouTube.
You even have an IMDb.
I do.
That's exciting.
And
you are on Linktree. We'll give you all of this information. You have a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Yes. You were a delight. I thank you so much. For information on the podcast, or Lisa and I, go to www.theviewinyourmirror. We are also on LinkedIn, and we are on Facebook and Instagram. Now, when I met you, you had on this incredible, do we call it a jacket? It wasn't a jacket. It was a
net.
shell.
Yeah.
It was a net. You had on a net.
Yeah.
If you could even envision it. And I had to have one.
Yes.
Tell me the designer. Let's give her a plug.
So it actually was given to me by a woman by the name of Debbie. Debbie is a stylist and a jewelry maker here in Minneapolis. And she actually got it from a designer in Africa. And so when you were like, oh, I need another one, there's a designer that I work with here named Barnabas Mwaiko. And he makes them as well. And so the one that you got was from him.
All right.
And so it was I love the one you have too.
Yes.
It's a little bit more wearable. The one that I have is very formal and stiff. And the one you have is very wearable, and you can kind of mix and match it. He's from Tanzania. So I believe the one that I had was originally from Kenya, many parts of Africa that do this netting technique.
Thank you, Kimberly. This is
Thank
truly,
you.
I look forward to continued conversations that you have with Lisa, and I look forward to continuing to stay in touch with you.
Absolutely.
And as we always end up talking about, that we all want the best view in our mirror. And I know that if you feel good on the inside, that's going to come out on the outside. And people like you and people like Lisa help hone exactly how that can look.
Yes.
So very important to remember, the best view in the mirror comes when you put a smile on your face and you feel deep down inside you are the best you that you can be. Until next time.
Absolutely.